Welcome to the Change Officer. Today I have another special guest, our Narmeen from EngulfArt. She is a mover and shaker, change officer of the art scene in the UAE, by no doubt, right? Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. So tell our viewers, what are you doing? How are you changing the world?
All right. So, EngulfArt is one of the largest collectives of artists in the region. We have 600 artists, but that's also including filmmakers, writers, content writers, designers, dancers, actors. It's a big collective, and the goal is to be the largest platform for creatives in the Middle East. So within 5 years, anybody would be able to go on the website and find an artist from Egypt or Palestine or Iraq or anywhere within the region. And right now we're actually in the process of going from offline to the online space. So right now, people can buy art from us, book talent from us, build an event with us, but eventually we'll, once we're online, then anybody around the world can do that. So they can learn from an artist in the region, they can buy art from somebody in the region, they can book an artist from the region or commission work from an artist in the region, and so that's the goal.
Awesome. And so welcome to STEP. Has this been your first time at STEP?
Second time.
Yes. And what were you doing here today?
I had a booth yesterday. I'm a C3 alumni, which I was part of an accelerator, and they brought us here. So I showcased yesterday, and then today I'm meeting amazing people, meeting amazing startups, investors, mentors.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And tell me, when did you start your business?
2019.
Okay.
2019.
You get hit COVID hardcore, yeah?
Yes.
And how did
Arts and events. Yeah, definitely. COVID, I think in the first 3 weeks of COVID, I lost 7 projects just back to back. And I just went really hard into meditation, into the Zen world, because I didn't have any other alternative. But I just kept working on community projects with artists, like online concerts. I did 4 virtual concerts during the first 4 months of COVID. I did artathons, I did live art battles, and I just kept the community engaged, the creative community engaged, and keeping a community involved with each other online was so important to me, and we got through it. We're getting through it, but, I think Dubai's just been a great place to be, especially because I work with events so much, and Dubai, opened up the fastest, I think, globally in terms of events, public spaces, community spaces. So, keeping a lot of companies I know shut down and then they left. Entrepreneurs left the country, but the fact that we're still here and our community got stronger, so many more artists. People picked up the paintbrush for the first time in 20 years during COVID, so I have an even bigger pool of artists now. So it's been a journey, actually, yeah. A good one, I would say.
Yeah, perfect. Well, you're still here. You're still standing, as they say. You made it through the wilderness,
Yeah, it was wild. It was.
And so now, being at STEP, what's your goal? What was your, purpose to be here? Obviously, this accelerator program brought you here, which is incredible. Tell me a little bit more about that. How was your journey getting into an accelerator as a startup?
Honestly, hard. Because
what was hard?
In the sense that I've been a solopreneur for a while. Because I work in the event space, I only hire teams during events for gigs. So if I have a 1 month gig or a 3 month gig, I'll hire teams then. But for the most part, I don't have a permanent team, which I'm building right now. And so as a solopreneur, I was always scared to apply to accelerators because they always ask you who's in your team, but I got selected somehow, and they really, the founders of C3, really support the arts, and they've been waiting for an art and culture startup to come on board. So I was very lucky. And then the accelerator was incredibly eye-opening and inspiring to see, because it's an accelerator for social enterprises. So to see how other socially minded companies, for-profit companies, are aligned with their social vision, but also their profit. It was so good for me to see that there are entrepreneurs who are so good at both, who, they're doing really well in terms of year-on-year growth with their revenue, but they've got such great impact. So for me, it's it was inspiring. And even being here as well, like hearing entrepreneurs talk and see how they talk to their teams, and it's been good. And I'm actually I'm going from an offline platform to an online platform. So I'm moving towards tech, and it's a great space to be. I mean, even I've spoken to so many startups that I will eventually contract to do work for me, you know? So it's been good. I like stuff.
Yeah, you like stuff. Perfect. It's a connection place, right? Place to connect. Anyone who's doing anything entrepreneurial, startup is here. Yeah. Anyone in that space. And so I see everyone buzzing around. So it feels really good because it is inspiring, as you mentioned, you know?
And it's innovative, right? Like so many software apps, AI apps that I've never even heard of that exist.
Yeah.
And now I know, oh my God, this exists. I can apply it in my business. And, you know, there's so many ways we can collaborate with other startups and support each other. So yeah,
cool. If you had to talk to us entrepreneur that was just beginning to get in this space, right, not know where they're going to turn or what they're going to do, you know, what's some of the advice that you would give those startups kind of in that similar space a couple years ago when you were just thinking about entering that incubator stage?
You know, for the first, I'd even say like few years, it was doing a lot of free work, in the sense that, you know, I didn't see it as work. It's just things I wanted to do. I wanted to bring the creative community together. I was doing free open mics, free events, free exhibitions. Like, I was doing all these events which I wanted to do to support creatives in the region. And it's only once you put in the work that people will respect you and appreciate you and be willing to pay you eventually, right? So I see a lot of people ask me, how do I do, like, how am I doing the current projects I'm doing? And I'm like, because I put in the work so many years ago, you know? Like, I've showcased my passion for what I do. I mean, if I knew what the shortcuts were, I would have taken them, but I don't. So I always tell people, like, I don't know what the shortcuts are to get here. Like, I can give you the journey and the struggles from the last few years, but I think it's necessary, you know?
100%, because that's how people are growing and learning from others' mistakes, you know? Biggest mistake as an entrepreneur so far, what do you got?
Oh my God, there's so many. Biggest?
And the room goes quiet. Picking the wrong, I'm going to help you with this, maybe picking the wrong.
With this company or the previous company or the one before that?
Well, it sounds like you keep going and going and you're not stopping, which is great. There's this drive and determination that's there that every business owner will tell you, I've done it before and I failed. I've done it before and failed, you know? But, I mean, in each journey, I'm sure you're going through another learning experience, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I wouldn't call it a mistake. It's just something that I want to get better at, which is delegation. When you're starting off, you're doing everything, and then you don't know when to stop that cycle, right? So for me, that's, even now, when I want to delegate, but I don't know how to delegate because I'm so used to doing the work on my own, and I know, so that's something I would advise people to start earlier. You know, just focus on where you're strongest, and then leave the rest to somebody else. That's one. And then I think I trust too easily, but then you know, I've been a victim of that. But then when I try to not be too trusting, I realize I don't function well, you know, like regardless of whatever has happened in the past, I still need to be that trusting person for me to attract the right people. So, I mean, I wouldn't say, I guess be more attentive to people, like,
maybe let them earn your trust.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Before you give it away. That might be a good one. You know?
Contracts are important.
Shareholder
agreements are important.
Yeah, exactly. Staff retention is important. Yeah. Delegation of that staff.
Accountability reports are important. You know, I tend to be quite easy with interns that work with me or temporary staff that work with me, but no, you need to. I've learned that it's a waste of their time. It's a waste of your time. Like, keep accountability measures in place.
And so, what kind of clients are you servicing right now? Who are your go to kind of, who are you solving a problem for?
Okay, so
If you are blank,
yeah. If you are a brand that understands the importance of experiential and community marketing, then by hiring local artists and local performers to, engage your community, then you talk to me.
all right. All right, that's your value prop, right? That's the problem
Yeah.
you're solving. So
Yeah.
specifically, those kind of customers should be coming to Engulf. They should
Yeah.
find you how?
Online, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, website, www.engulf.art. Yeah.
You're everywhere on the web. And
Yes.
we're talking about a community that you've already
Yeah.
built for many years. What are we talking
Yeah.
about? How many numbers?
600 artists and growing. 600, this was like last counted, but I think every time I do an exhibition, every time I do an event for a client, I get an influx of messages on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, like, how do we join you? How do we join your community? How can we do workshops with you? How can we facilitate? How can we perform at your event? So I haven't counted all these messages. I'm sure it's in the thousands by now, but there's definitely demand from both the supply side, and I'm seeing more and more brands really understand the importance of art and culture and infusing art and culture and showcasing to their community and their audience that art and culture is important. So it's a good space to be in. I love it.
Awesome. It's the queen of the art and culture scene,
Yes.
right? In the UAE, expanding elsewhere soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Good luck with the funding. You got
Thank
any
you.
tips from some of these VCs and stuff that things
So
are looking
many.
So
many.
many.
I'm also in a tech entrepreneurship festival, so most of the investors that have come, they want tech.
for? Yeah.
Some of them have been like, oh no, you have an offline part to your business, but I love the offline part of my business,
Right.
The tech part is just more for scalability to serve all the artists around the Middle East. But amazing tips, and they've been so nice, and they've been so supportive, and I've had so many pats on my back, so it's always nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I wish you the best of luck. It
Thank
sounds like you
you.
are a change innovator, officer, going on the path to help engagement with the art scene, in the UAE. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
It sounds 600 artists is a big number to brag about. So you girl, you know all the artists in town. So if anyone's looking for the artists, contact Engulf,
Yes.
and find out more, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time
Thank you,
today.
Rachel.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks.